Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. It's good to be back, on the show after the weekend break. I feel quite rested, even though I did a lot of work over the weekend, but I'm glad to be back on the table, the Breakfast Express table this morning on MITV Plus. All right, we're going to be having a third person on the program with us today. He's a familiar face because we started the Breakfast Express together. Stephen will be back with us. For those of you who have been rooting for Stephen, he's going to be back with us this morning. We're expecting him to hit the studio any moment from now. I want to thank God for the gift of life and the gift of my voice. And I will always be appreciative that each time I come to work, everyone I want to see is here and no one is missing. Thank God for that. Yemi Akiode is here as well. Good morning, Yemi.
Well, 22 years after all of the allegations and accusations, all of the disrespect and insults, the bad jokes and the banter, Arsenal finally been crowned as the Premier League champions for the very first time in 22 years. It gladdens my heart, and I have a message for Arsenal haters this morning. This is the start of an unending level of dominance. And for Arsenal lovers and fans, celebrate. Don't let anyone limit you, because when the insults were there, nobody compared. So now it's a good time to be alive. Beautiful Monday morning to everyone watching us from everywhere around the world. And I want to especially welcome you to your #1 Atonic show on TV. I'm sure your weekend was good. And of course, it feels good to have Tone back. Last week, Friday, was there was a mixture of canoe and rain boots and water yacht. By the end of the day, I'm sure you could still experience it because it's really cloudy out there, and then it could rain heavily again this morning. But once again, it's a pleasure to be back on the show, and good morning to you.
All right, okay, maybe I should just... Which picture is this? Okay, yeah, Arsenal fan. Oh, this was me and my son and I in
that was a setup
at the Emirates studio.
You know what we're going to post.
Which picture was this?
Yeah, wondering. I know the picture they post.
Are you serious?
It's a setup.
All right, so that's my son
For
and
the people that don't know,
yeah,
Toe is over 20 years Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
And so she's one of the people we're celebrating on the show this morning. And that was her at the Emirates Stadium with her son. And of course, doing the legendary back to the crowd celebration. And so we're joining ourselves and every Arsenal fan. And I'll say this again, this is the biggest celebration ever witnessed in the history of this country. It's iconic, it's legendary, and you understand why. Because you've not tasted this much glory in the past 22 years. So it feels really, really
I'm
good.
telling you,
We're just waiting to get an icing on the cake on Saturday when we win the FA Champions League and in Budapest, in Hungary. Really? And that's where the major if I don't be surprised if you see me on Monday in the studio with Arsenal jersey, I hope the camera people will not be angry.
Okay, if you look at that picture very well, haters gonna hate all the time.
Agenda must agenda.
Yes, so my other children are in one corner because they weren't happy.
We
are just three Arsenal fans in my family. The others, one is a Liverpool, and then two. My husband and my other son they're Manchester fans. So guess what? That same day, we left the Emirates Stadium, we went to Liverpool, and we went to Manchester. If not, I wouldn't have rested.
So avoid stories that touch.
All right, welcome to the Breakfast Express show again. We'll take a commercial break, and when we return, we will be having more for you. It's going to be the Money Points commercial. Stay tuned.
From 11 June to 19 July, everything can wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026. Catch all 104 matches on 4 dedicated channels, live on SuperSport, only on DSTV.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point, oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as sure banker. Progress na small wind where they carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you, they use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money Point, made for your progress.
Welcome back. I'm sure you know that when I wear my glasses, I'm going to be having to read something. So welcome to the newspaper review segment of the Breakfast Express show. And I'll be starting with the Punch newspaper. APC primaries, Tinubu polls 10.9 million votes to clinch presidential ticket. Well, I don't know what to make of this because the way that they count in the APC, you understand? The counting may be in tens or in hundreds and whatever. From what I saw at one of the primaries, yes, you know, so perhaps, maybe. Okay, the banner headline for the Punch is 2027 race. ADC picks Tinubu's challenger today. Atiku, Amechi, Hayatuddin fight for party presidential flag. And the one other story we have on the Punch newspaper is a thank you message, you know, from our president, you know, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to his party members, you know, for, of course, you know, voting him to be the presidential flag bearer for the coming elections. That's it from the Punch newspaper. Let's see what the other newspapers have to say.
Okay, I would also look at the Nation newspaper. I was just trying to check the result of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2023 general election. And because 10.9, it's a huge, you know, number. Tinubu wins with 10.9 million votes. And of course, with the headline, same, with a thank you message from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, acknowledging God, the APC, his family, his beautiful wife, the leadership of the party, his vice president, the national chairman of the party, the community leaders, women leaders, interest group, professional bodies, everyone that was part of his success story at the APC primaries. And first, I read through the message for the Nation. So I think that is what is going to cover most of the newspapers that we have to, because morning. That is the only thing on the front page of the Nation at the moment. Just the president. You know, okay, there's also the little story at the top left corner. OPay scales 1.2 billion 10-year scholarship program with National Innovation Challenge and OPay Futures. And so that's just the only thing on the front page of the Nation, apart from the thank you message from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to his teaming supporters for supporting him with 10.9 million. By the way, the man that ran against him, Osifo, he has 16,000 votes. I mean, what would, yeah.
16,000?
Yes, at the primaries. And the president had 10.9 million.
Oh, you mean 16,000 million?
I mean, see,
no, there's a, why did you bring it up? It's not, that's not fair.
No, that's not fair. It's life itself is not fair.
That's not fair.
But at least there was a contest. And the idea of the Electoral Act when it was amended says that it's either there's a direct primaries or a consensus. And I'm sure that the presidency or the leadership of APC could not reach a consensus with Mr. Osifo. He paid his 100 million, entirely so. And you know, he went to the contest, and I saw him. And he got some votes.
That's the thing. The thing. So
if Desmond Elliott got 16,000 votes in Surulere, we'll be going back to the House of Assembly now.
So what that means is that, you know, sometimes this consensus thing, you know, let people be on
the ballot, let them go out.
Yes, you know.
But you and I know that they will have just done consensus. We should have
Anyway,
let them leave all this drama for us.
I don't. What did you call it?
Drama.
Exactly.
We should have just allow consensus and let
It didn't
them
come
leave
from me. It came from Okwe. All right. Okwe's favorite newspaper will take because he saw it and he didn't take it. So I'll be taking the Guardian newspaper, and I'll be starting with the headline that Okwe rounded up the Nation newspaper with. OPay scales 1.2 billion naira 10-year scholarship program with National Innovation Challenge and OPay Futures. Tinubu to sustain reforms after APC's 10.9 votes. And of course, Tanita Security Services Nigeria Limited. By the way, that's owned by Tompolo.
Yeah.
And he is toasting to President Tinubu, and he says he is the man that the cap fits. So a toast to President Tinubu, who the cap fits. Someone was asking me, where has Tompolo been? You know, which party does he belong to now?
No, he's
and I said he's deeply, you know.
the Tanita is the company that, got the contract for the protection of oil pipelines in the Niger Delta.
Yeah.
And if you look at how he's been around the All Progressive Congress, you understand that
he's flowing with
he's not
them.
just a member of the APC.
Yeah.
He's a financial member of the All Progressive
Financially
Congress.
committed.
Absolutely committed, you know, to the growth, to the movement or the activities of the All Progressive Congress. I've seen him. He's always at the front pages of newspapers, whether for the president's birthday or a New Year message to the president, now to celebrate the president's certificate of return. And it's basically a reflection of the fact that, see, I'm with you guys. And whether you like it or not, there's been relative peace in the Niger Delta region. Even though the cost of the protection is still being debatable, and there are reports that is running into billions of naira every year in terms of payments. But the most important thing is that the pipelines are relatively safe. There are still illegal bunkering going on. There are still unlicensed refineries. Some of them are modular refineries and all of that, you know. But most important thing is that the Tanita Security Services probably doing the job they should be doing according to what the government employed them for. So let's check the Vanguard. 2027, 31 APC governors endorsed Tinubu with 10.99 million votes. With the rider won't allow opposition with no clear vision to take Nigeria backward. That is what the president said when he was reading his acceptance speech, you know, to his teaming supporters. Absence of insurance cover for airports exposes federal government to losses and compensation claims. This is not looking good. Nigeria at high risk of Ebola virus importation. That is coming from NCDC. Well, that's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Nigeria at high risk of Ebola virus importation. That is coming from the NCDC. Well, the sponsorship from Tanita Security Service also on the front page of the Vanguard with the same OPay story. OPay scales 1.2 billion 10-year scholarship program with National Innovation Challenge and OPay Futures. So, if you want to know more about the NCDC story, I just pick a copy of the Vanguard newspaper and you get more details on that particular one. That's all.
All right, we'll be looking at the Nigerian Tribune right now, and of course the OPay story is, you know, the top strip story. We already read it, but I'll take it. OPay scales 1.2 billion 10-year scholarship program with National Innovation Challenge and OPay Futures. Now, this is the same artwork on all the papers, you know, so perhaps we can just go on. We will place Nigeria on irreversible path of economic expansion with another 4 years. And that's coming from our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And the writer for that story is, as he gets certificates of return for winning APC presidential primaries. All right, that's it from the Nigerian Tribune. It seems to me like a newspaper review segment is going to end in no time.
Well, I'm sure we still have
Daily
reasons
Trust.
to go into
We still have the
maybe
Daily
more
Trust.
details, but let's look at Daily Trust. Nigeria remains World Bank's third largest borrower with $18.5 billion. Destruction loans as NCAA places airlines on no service order. Destruction looms as NCAA places airlines on no service order. Eid al-Kabir, commuters spend hours on the Abuja-Kaduna highway. The road is being fixed, so there's certainly going to be a lot of issues along that axis. ADC presidential primaries, that is the headline for Daily Trust. Atiku, Amechi, Ayatudin battled for tickets. Those are the three aspirants on the platform of the African Democratic Congress that picked up the nomination form, 90 million naira nomination form for the presidential ticket of the party, and that will be decided today. Well, they couldn't reach the consensus, but you never can tell. The consensus could still be reached before the end of the day. APC primaries, governors outdo one another as Tinubu net over 10 million votes. Well, for the people saying that governors have only one ticket or only one PVC, I understand. Governors have only one PVC indeed. But when it comes to the structure of the parties in their states, the concern of the APC makes it clear that the governor is the leader of the party in their states.
Yeah.
And when we have a situation where about 28 governors want to return or freshly picking up their tickets, it's a case of the president wins, we win, the president loses, we lose. And I think Tinubu is absolutely privileged to have that much governors also wanting to run for second term alongside him. So the structure of the election is very simple. The presidency and the National Assembly comes first, then the governorship and the State House of Assembly comes later. So in most cases, if the president wins, and that was what happened in 2015 for Buhari, when the APC had that landslide victory for Buhari in 2015, and then there was 2 weeks in between the next election, it actually, there was an effect on it on the other states. So nobody wanted to move away from the federal. We were transitioning from the PDP into the APC. People didn't know what the APC was coming with. And then the governors, because Buhari had won, he also went on to campaign for all the APC states. And now I think there was that spiral effect on how the results eventually came through. So with President fully securing his second term tickets, it is very clear. Who comes in from the APC, from the ADC? Who comes in from the PDP? We have two factions of the PDP screening and clearing two different candidates. One faction had cleared former President Goodluck Jonathan. The other faction had cleared the professor from Benue. I'm trying to remember his name. I'll surely remember. So we don't know which of them will be on the ballot to represent PDP. I shall know that one party cannot present two presidential candidates in January 2027. Who is coming from the ADC? Is it going to be Ayatudin? Is it going to be the former Minister of Transport, Amechi? Or is it going to be the former Vice President and the 2023 presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar? Who is coming from the PRP? We heard that PRP had cleared Donald Duke, the former governor of Cross River State, as one of their presidential aspirants. And they've also zoned their ticket to the south. Who is coming from the Labour Party? We're not sure about that. Abda said they are not feeding the candidate against the president because they are supporting the second term ambition. Who is coming in from the Booth Party? Who is coming in from the Accord Party? So we have a deadline of 30th of May for submission of lists for all of the candidates. So it seems the APC is taking charge. They've done their election. Whether they are fallout of such, it's an internal issue. They will solve it themselves. But they released the list of all the aspirants that have been cleared. All the House of Assembly members that have been cleared as aspirants, they've also cleared them. Now the president said the senator. So whatever fallout of that election is APC for them to manage. But it seems they're taking charge. It seems that they are setting the pace. And it's a huge call. If the president had 8.9 million in the general election in 2023, and in the primaries of his political party, he has 10.9 million, the message is sending to the other aspirants is that catch me if you can. And that's the fact. I want to see how the ADC would respond. If there's going to be fallout or negative fallout of the consequence or after the primaries of the election, we'd wait. We want to see how the the NDC, yes, I think it's only Peter Obi they screened and declared him for the ticket of the party as well, because all of the parties except the NDC have zoned their ticket to the South. And the message is very clear. Allow the South to finish their 8 years. And it's a political calculation. If the South complete their 8 years, it goes back to the North. So that's exactly what the other political parties are doing. Particularly saying that it is not constitutionally agreed that there must be rotation. Who the cap fits,
let him wear it.
One region produce, and that's the same thing I have to do is also emphasizing on. Even though that permutation will have favored Amici as the only southern aspirant on the tripod of those guys, but two of them are coming from the north. I have to do is a northerner. Atiku Abubakar is also a northerner. So we keep our fingers crossed. But as it is right now, APC seems to be the only party that are ready and following the guidelines of INEC heading into the election. So the gauntlet has been dropped, and let's see if the other opposition party will also pick and move on from here.
All right. One thing is certain. The APC, you can see that there are certain standards in terms of, meeting the deadlines. We can criticize them all we want, but somehow they're able to blaze the trail. And I think, that other parties should look in their direction, to be able to get themselves set and together for the forthcoming elections. No doubt. I mean, there are a lot of laxities that we have seen. A lot of laxities.
It wasn't a perfect process.
Yes.
But as I said, that whatever fallout of those, there are petitions that have been written to the primaries committee at different states. For even Lagos, we heard that some of the aspirants in Lagos also wrote petition to the committee from Benue to Nasarawa. But that's expected, because first off, this is the first time that this party was unanimously adopting a particular pattern. And initially, it was supposed to be consensus, even though we had consensus on other states. But the message is very clear that let us go to the polls. Let everyone take their chances. So we had about 26 House of Reps members that will not be returning. I was going through the list this morning, and I was seeing names of people that are, chairmen of big, juicy committees on the floor of the reps, and they are not returning. So it means that, imagine if there was consensus, and those people have been able to secure the ticket. But one ground, even in Lagos here, Kosofe, Kafila Ogara is not going back. The former chairperson of Ikosi, LCDA, yes, he was the one that won the primaries. Look at the House of Assembly in Surulere 1 and 2. Two young people, two ladies, won the ticket for Surulere constituency 1 and 2 for the Lagos State House of Assembly, defeating 3-term sitting rep House of Assembly members. So there's a dynamic that could be followed. But the most important thing is that the APC says that there are mechanisms set up to settle issues or fallout of the primaries. If you are not happy with the fallout, come. If you are disgruntled, come. And you know what? They are trapped.
Well, I am looking even beyond the internal thing per se. Yes, what I'm about to comment about is internal, but it's something that the world is watching. So yes, APC are setting the standards in terms of teaching people that you must be ready on time. Time.
Yes, you have to abide by the schedule.
Time is very important. For that, I give them 100% credit. But there are a lot of irregularities and there are a lot of laxities. That may not sit very well for people of great reasoning. Because there are certain things we see them do. That
this is not.
I mean, some people might be thinking that if they vote these people, this is the same model that they're going to adopt. So some people would be like, let's just be wary of them. But it would have been a nice thing for a party that is setting standards in certain ways to just go the whole hog, be transparent, but it's politics. I know that by the time I land, the next thing you'll say to me is that it's politics and that's how it's played, but I'm just looking at it like I wish it was just being, transparent, straight and everything. We're going to set the standards in everything that we do. Even, our voting process, we would present to the public as we vote. We will carry them along. Let's count together. You know, all those things.
So there won't be
put
800, 200.
Exactly. That's the point. That exactly is the point.
But again, you know, the fact that it's an exercise where emotions would always fly, even when people obviously lose the election, they will still say that, oh, we're rigged out. You know, I've seen quite a lot of videos and statements from senatorial aspirants saying that, oh, the timing of the schedule was changed. I even saw one House of Reps member from Delta State that they told him that all aspirants should converge by 11 o'clock. That's when the primaries will start. By the time he got there, there was nobody. They moved the location to another place and they finished the primaries by the time he got there. A sitting Reps member. So there would always be those issues
of
left,
course,
right, and
certainly.
center. Because first off, it's a system where humans are involved. So perfection does not exist in that space. And secondly, the way, just like you said, the way we play our politics here, it gives room for a lot of issues. And that's why the moment they were constituting the primaries committee, they were also constituting the primaries appeal committee, because they know that there would always be disgruntled aspirants, people that feel skimmed out, people that feel like, oh, the list was not properly brought, people that feel like, oh, I won this election. No, I know of rep member that won their election, that lost the election, and then there was a reverse. The member representing Panshikanke Kanam in the House of Representatives, that's Right Honorable Yusuf.
The way you pronounce these things, these words, it's obvious that you've been, I mean, you're part and parcel, you're like soap to sponge.
Yeah. You know, he is the chairman of Senate Reps Committee on Navy, Yusuf Adamu Gajdi.
No, pronounce that.
PKK, Panshikanke Kanam.
So sweet.
Kanam is where the national chairman of the APC comes from, Professor Nentawe Itwada in Plateau State. So the member representing as the former deputy speaker of the House of Assembly, he lost the ticket initially. But 24 hours later, it was announced that the person that announced the result does not have the constitutional right to announce the result. Then another number came out. So there are issues like that. But the most important thing for the APC is that for me, the 2026 amended Electoral Act traps party members. I don't know if it's a good thing.
It doesn't trap only party, well, is it the APC members?
Yeah, no, everybody.
Everybody.
You know why?
Yeah, that's it.
Now, if you join a political party and you feel disgruntled, if this was 2023, a lot of these candidates will have gone to other political parties.
But the thing is that
you cannot do that now.
That's one of the things that Nigerians are complaining about. That
you cannot do that now.
This is just like a dictatorship, because they set the standards, they set the rules to
the opposition parties fell for it. They fell for it.
They fell
because there was a distraction. They didn't know. Everybody was shouting mode of transmission, mode of transmission. We didn't know there are a lot of other clauses that was included into the Electoral Act, and it was signed. They
actually fell for it. They honestly, I don't know how they let it go, but it was just an oversight. Some things are until it actually happens. So, and then again, it's good enough to talk about the opposition. You know, the party that said these things. I mean, come on, really, it's not a do or die affair. It's supposed to be a free for all. That's what democracy is about. But when you start to set stringent rules and everything, and you start to cage people and box people up, I don't think that's really. When you say elections are free and fair, it's already not free, and it's already not fair, even before it has happened. That's the truth of the matter.
So
people are disgruntled. People are not happy about this at all. I mean, you need to hear. Well, of course, perhaps maybe. Except the party faithfuls, you know, and those supporting exactly.
But I have a contrary opinion, and this is it.
That's fine.
I've always felt like Nigerian political space lacks ideology, and that's why you can eat breakfast in the PDP, enjoy a good lunch in the APC, and Labour Party will give you a sumptuous dinner. There's no ideology, so a lot of them would allow placeholders go into primaries of other political parties. Unknown people will pick tickets of those political parties. So when they lose from here, they will just go to that party and collect the ticket from those ones. It bridges the entire process of democracy. So what it now does is that you know that even if you lose here, there's a party somewhere that you can use as a special purpose vehicle. Just go in there, call the national leadership of the party, call the national chairman, give them 100 million. They will tell the person that picked up the form, oh yeah, take the return of your form, take extra 20 million on it, drop the ticket, and then the person becomes a placeholder. But now you are staying in your party.
You are forced.
You're not forced. You can stay. You can choose to work against the party. Well, if they catch you, they expel you for anti-party. You can choose to be in the party and not be an active member anymore. Not campaign, not fly the flag of the party, not attend meeting anymore. Just waiting for when the electoral cycle will come and they can leave that party and go. Because the process of leaving a political party is different. Now you have to be deregistered first.
But what's the essence of being a politician and being an active member of a party if you cannot, you cannot
You
be
have to
free?
stay in your party.
What-
Stay and develop. So if you are coming as a welfareist, as a political party, or you want to build role, want to equip the people, stay and build that welfareism. Why are you jumping and going to another party that has capitalist ideology?
So
Because
I agree with you on that one, but I'm saying that the intention for which they now have to stay was not genuine, it was to favor a
if you
particular
wanted to
group.
leave, you should
Do
have left
understand?
before you lost an election.
No,
No,
well,
that's it.
I agree with you. Listen to me. I agree with you. Let that be on record. I agree with you in that case. But whereby we're looking at, in this particular circumstance, I disagree because it is not somebody who even does not really know the rules that should be teaching other people. It's not somebody that has not led by example that should be telling other people what to do. That's my point. My point is because, yes, you lead, you rule the party and stuff, and it has been beneficial to you. Let me tell you, if this party was not beneficial, right, the story would have been completely different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the circumstances in which this is happening is what I disagree with. I agree completely with what you're saying. It is good to be loyal, dedicated, passionate about whatever it is that you choose to do. Do it and do it well. Be there, try to build together. I agree, but not under these circumstances. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So, if other political parties want to make themselves SPVs, so what it does is that establishing political parties is no longer profitable. And that's what it does right now. So let us have parties that can stand. There's no point having 70 or 80 political parties when only 35 of them will present presidential candidates. In the last election, we had 19 political parties. Only 11 of them presented presidential candidates. So some of those parties are just waiting and looking for people that are angry from other political parties, and then they give them a ticket. That is not democracy. Peter Obi left the ADC before the primaries because he said that my ideology does not align with these people. He left. And so there's a process now. You have to be deregistered from, because the House of Representatives is already debating a motion that will criminalize dual membership of political party. So if you're a member of the ADC, you left and then you joined the APC. If you were not deregistered from the ADC and you register in the APC, you are holding two membership of a political party, you can be jailed for 10 years. So we're just trying to bring sanity into the electoral process. If you lose a primary, stay in that political party.
It's also easy to say right now. That's what I'm saying. It's so easy to do and to dictate and to say right now because it is beneficial. But don't forget that these people at some point, because they knew that they didn't have the strength to stand on their own, there were mergers and acquisitions. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if possible, there would have been cross-carpeting. But we're now talking like we were always saints. No, that's not. We were never always saints. We're not saints even yet. That's the point. So, this is how politics has been played in Nigeria. And if we were saying we're making the rules because we're trying to streamline, we're trying to better the way politics is played in Nigeria, I will be 100% in support of all of this. But we're not. That's not at all the basis for which this has been done. The basis for which this has been done is so that a particular party would be, would be in charge, would be on top, and that's not how the game is supposed to be played. That's my point.
Wow, let's see how it goes. But the most important thing is that there's nothing like cross-carpeting anymore. Even if you want to cross-carpet, you cannot cross-carpet to go and contest for any office again. You have to wait for the next election cycle. So if you contested as governorship candidate on the platform of party ABC and you lost, you are staying in that party. Is it that you stay, you become a docile member, you become non-active member?
Which doesn't make any sense anyway.
No. It's basically about interest. You can choose to. Nobody.
Why should somebody who before that time had been an active member now choose to be a docile member. It is only because, certain things have constrained
Political
him.
party is supreme in Nigeria.
So
That's what I tell people. As long as we don't have independent candidacy approved in our constitution, as long as you need a platform, which is a political party, to run for any political offices, there would always be an absolute control of the political parties by the leaders of the party. If the leaders of the party looks at, okay, let us go through this route, there's nothing you want to do about it. That's why we have multiple political parties. Exactly.
Certainly.
You can leave a political party now. No, but it's not like you cannot leave. It's just that you cannot contest. If I choose to leave party XYZ now, I can go to party ABC, but I cannot aspire to be the ticket holder of that party within the part until I've stayed in that party for a particular period of time. That was why Peter Obi was quick enough to have left the ADC before the expiration of that May 10th, which is the time where the deadline of the party register to be submitted. It is very clear. I understand where you're coming from in the process of saying keep everything inside, but again, politics, it's a game of numbers. One,
I mean,
politics
that's an obvious
is a school
statement
of no emotional commitment. It is a winner takes all. It is a ruthless space. That's why they say that before you go into politics, you have to learn politics 101, the rudiment of politics.
And I'm in total agreement with that. But I'm still saying that what has been done was done, for selfish reasons, and it doesn't mean that because that is how it is played, that it is right. Do you understand? If we say it's a democracy, now go and look at the definition of a democracy. There's certain things that a democracy, certain qualities that a democracy should have. Now, if the democracy does not have those qualities, then it is not a democracy, meaning that it is wrong. It is wrongly played. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it is not, there's nothing that says that I cannot say that this politics that we play in Nigeria, or we're playing at the moment, is wrong. It is wrong, really. It is wrong, So, yes, I know it's about the smart ones. I know it's about the numbers. I know all of these are the obvious that you're stating, okay? But it does not make it right. That's the point. All right.
Well,
one more
our
thing.
Fingers crossed.
One more thing I'd like for us to look at is, the 10 point what billion 9? Is it 10.9?
Yeah, 10.99 billion.
10.99 billion.
That's almost 11 million.
Okay, so that's million, and that's almost 11 million. Yeah. Looking at all of that and looking at the passion with which the president went ahead, to do this primaries and so on and so forth, and I'm just saying, and this is rid of any sentiments, emotions, bias. Yes, I'm just saying that how I wish. I'm just wishfully thinking now. I wish that the president could put in so much passion, in looking the other way for a second, and saying that, oh, do Nigerians need me? Let me quickly check, and see what's going on out there. Because I understand that right now, nobody is checking anybody or checking anything, but it would be a nice thing. It would be a nice thing, if you could just take a little peep at what's going on out there and put in a little passion, and then perhaps we'll get a Nigeria that's going, and a Nigeria that's rid of all the troubles that we're going through. On that note, I think we'll take a break from the newspaper review and move into some other segment. But before that, we'll take our usual break, and then we'll have Stephen come on set, and then we can take our discussion segment. Please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. It's still MITV Plus. Welcome back. It's the bumper, sorry, it's the Breakfast Express. Lots of things have been happening behind the scene. But yeah, welcome back. It's time for us to look at our discussion segment. And before we do that, let me welcome Stephen. Stephen is back on set. Stephen, is this you for real?
It's me. Oh.
But how come you came late? What happened? You were telling me about...
Yes, Nigeria is beautiful. I was just glancing through, looking at the good work our government is doing.
And you were beaten by the rain?
I was fellowshipping.
With the water coming from heaven?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good one. It's good to have you back.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, discussion segment. Where you'll be handling that.
Okay, we'll be looking at education worship under siege. How safe are Nigeria's sacred spaces? A night vigil ended in bloodshed on Saturday as bandits invaded a prayer ground at Oreoke, Ajayi, on the outskirts of Ikiran village in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, killing 3 worshippers and abducting 15 others. The attack happened at the ground around past 8 in the evening when the congregation was holding a vigil. The Kwara State Police Command confirmed the incident in a statement issued yesterday by a spokesperson, Superintendent of Police Adetun Ejire Adeyemi, adding that the attack was reported by the church's pastor, Adebayo Abiodun. Security operatives are currently combing the bush, gathering intelligence and conducting coordinated operations across the area to rescue the victims and apprehend the perpetrators. The attack is the latest in a troubling pattern of violence targeting places of worship and open gatherings across Nigeria. It raises urgent questions around the safety of the worshippers and whether the security agencies are adequately equipped and developed enough to protect civilians in vulnerable rural communities. So let's look into this one again. Stephen, once again, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you join us again. I'm almost like you never left, by the way. So it's an amazing session again with you. But let's start from here. Let me quote from the Bible. And please, if I don't quote it correctly, don't put me out of order. The Bible says that the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous runs into it and they feel safe. So one would expect that in a country governed by law and its leaders picked via the democratic means, which is election, the primary responsibility of every government is to keep the people safe first, more than anything else. There's a reason why the drafters of the Constitution says safety before welfare. And if you look at where we are right now, even the place of God is supposed to be an hallowed chamber, a sacred place, have been desecrated over and over and over again. Churches have been burnt, worshippers abducted, killed, and it's a case again. What do you make of this story? Is this a case of daring them to see what happens? Kwara State have been under siege for months now. And then someone decided to host a vigil. And then we know the consequences of sin. Whose table do we put this blame? The government have failed to protect the people, or the people that decide to, expose themselves to such evil?
Well, I think in the Nigeria of today, religion has come to stay, right? And I think what we need to look into more is how we can adapt, right? Holding a vigil is not necessarily a bad thing, it's a public gathering, right? And we have that right to gather. However, it is very, very important to also look at it in context of what is currently happening. Public gathering needs security, and that fact is, I think, well established by now. What do you think?
Well, that fact should be. Should be well established by now. Now, is it well established? That's the question. That's the question I'd like to ask. And quite unfortunately, we said the name of God is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and are safe. And the same Bible says wisdom is profitable to direct. So just as you're rightly saying, when I first heard, about the story, I hadn't read it. I'm like, just like you said, people have a right to gather, publicly. This has not just started happening. People have a right to worship God in whichever way they choose, as long as they're not getting on other people's nerves. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, but you see, in a situation where, insecurity is the order of the day, in the environment where this gathering is supposed to hold, I think, that they should have been proactive and security ready, such that, if anything had happened, there would be security for them. Unfortunately, they perhaps took God for granted and also took the bandits for granted. Perhaps the bandits thought, oh, you're walking in our space. This is our space, and you should know that this is our space. Are you trying to challenge our authority? We are the authorities here. The only other authority perhaps would have been the government, if the government had secured these areas where bandits have attacked. But in the absence of the national security, I think that this church should have provided security for themselves.
Before we slide into Stephen's space, I have something on this issue. And I'm sure a lot of people will be surprised I'm going really biblical this morning.
No, your father is a pastor anyway, so it's okay.
The same Bible says that, let me use Yoruba, "Ìbùkún ni fún ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ tó fi ọgbọ́n ṣe." I don't know if it's a Bible quotation or is an adage or is a proverb, but the same Bible says wisdom is profitable to direct. The same Bible also says, get in all your gettings, get understanding.
Yeah.
So we understand the peculiarity of where we find ourselves as a nation. The fact that the country is under siege, constant attack, abductions and killing is our current reality. Do you understand? So when the Bible says that you wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, there's principalities and powers and spiritual wickednesses in high places. These are the things that we are seeing. The right to religion is enshrined in the Constitution for you. So you have the right to gather. You have the right to religion affiliation. You have the right to be loyal to any religion you choose to. You have the right to go to church, not to go to church, to go to mosque, not to go to mosque. You have the right to do public gathering, anything you want to do. The Constitution cannot say, nobody can take that part away from you from the Constitution. But again, you have to apply wisdom when you are gathering. You know very well that to even gather in the afternoon is risky. Then having to gather at night is even a bigger danger. So you gather people to the point that 3 people were killed, almost 20 people were abducted, and they say they're coming to the bush. Do you know how many people have been in those bushes that they've not been able to rescue till now? Complete families are still being stuck far away in the kidnappers' den. So I'm going to say that the fault is majorly from the government, because the government has failed in their primary responsibility of protecting the people. But on the other side, you know that the government has failed. Why are you still putting the life of your people at risk? We cannot continue to play blind to the consequences. I think we don't know that there are consequences to these actions. You know very well that gathering in the afternoon. Let me tell you something. In Jos, because of attacks that have happened many years ago, right? There are times where services cannot be held in Jos. There are times that during services, major roads are blocked. There are road diversion on Sundays. They will tell you that, oh, you must not gather beyond this and this. This number of people must not gather. There's a constant issue around the failure of government not protecting the people. We agree. But why should you also put your life at risk? When you follow short of you cannot continue to put your life at risk.
Okay, Okwe, let me just quickly take that a little away from you. Now, the actual topic is education, one, and worship. Both of them are under siege. So what we're saying, in other words, we can accuse the pastor of not being wise all we want. But the truth is that even if they were in an enclosed place, even if they had security, and I'm not playing the devil's advocate now, but what I'm trying to do is look at it from both sides. Do you understand? So even if they were in they had all the security they wanted, the truth is, if these bandits wanted to operate, they will operate, because if we move slightly away from the worship aspect to the education aspect, these children were in nobody's way. They were in school. They were in class. So were the teachers. They were teaching. Do you understand? So why is it that people are no longer free to move around the way they want to in their own, home. When I say home, because they say home is where the heart is. It doesn't have to be your house. It doesn't have to be the home in your house. Home is where you're familiar with. Home is where you grew up. Home is where you go to school, and they're not free. And really and truly, the government, knowing what is happening in Nigeria, should have provided enough security. I'll tell you something. I don't know if our president is in Lagos today, but I know that there was heavy security yesterday.
Everywhere in Lagos.
Everywhere in Lagos. On 3rd Mainland Bridge, when I saw the army trucks.
Almost every 200 meters, there's a policeman.
Yes, there were policemen and army men. I was coming all the way from Lekki, so I had to go through the Osborne Ikoyi axis, onto 3rd Mainland Bridge. And I started to wonder, so what's going on? Is President coming to Lagos? What exactly is going on? So some people, obviously, these fingers are more equal than the others. Some are more equal
in every class.
And that's not supposed to be the case. That's certainly not supposed to be the case. Listen, in every society, I agree that there is a class. Now, there's a class because some people are, in the high class cadre, some in the middle class, some in the low class cadre, depending on your earnings, depending on your exposure, and depending on a lot of other things, okay? But you see, there should not be, demarcation in terms of class when it comes to certain things. And this is one of them. Security is one of them. We all belong to Nigeria. Nigeria is for all of us. And I said it on one of our programs. I said the son of the president works with a lot of security details. Now, he is somebody's son. His life is valuable. In my opinion, his life is extremely valuable. And that is true. That's a statement of fact. That's established. But guess what? His life is not more important than the lives of other people who are not the president's children. So I'm saying that if he is, being so protected, every one of us
should be protected
too. Because guess what? The money that they spend at that level is earned by we are the ones working and making the money. So I think we should be put into consideration for everything that they do. We deserve to be secure. What do you think, Stephen?
True to that. And it's quite worrisome that there was an increase in tax quite recently, if I may say. What comes to mind is the proactiveness of our security officers, right? Worship time in churches, in mosques, learning time in schools are vulnerable moments, just as you said. Why is the police not proactive to be on patrol during these times, right? In places of worship, in schools, why? Like these questions, because like you said, like you rightly said, every life counts for something. We are saying 3 people dead today, we are saying 2 people dead tomorrow, 5 people kidnapped. All these things are not just numbers, they are human life attached to these stories.
Stephen, let me respond to, please let me quickly respond to Stephen. Well, why are the police not proactive? The police did not know that they were going to have a church service. So the police may not have been proactive for that church service, first of all. Secondly, the police will act on orders. They need to be ordered to do certain things. Now, based on the church service, no. But based on the fact that that area is known, as a high-risk area, yes, there should be police on patrol. But there's so many issues we have even within the police force. What are the numbers that we have? What are the incentives?
No, you see, what are the conversation.
What are the incentives
That's what I wanted to say.
that are given to these policemen, to encourage them? More often than not, at that time of the night, some of them are totally drunk. Why are they? They are trying to drink away their sorrows, the pains that they go through. They cannot feed their families. They cannot afford to live in good houses. even in the barracks where they live, they can't, make their own apartments look decent, and a whole lot of challenges that they face on a daily basis. The number of policemen we have in this country is certainly not enough. It's just like talking about doctors, just the number of doctors to the number of patients. It just doesn't tally. So we will have these challenges all the time. So if the pastor knew that he was going to have a vigil in an area that is a high-risk area, he should have reached out to the police, probably written a letter and asked for, security and all of that. And I'm sure they may have granted
I want to agree with you, but not absolutely.
Okay.
And this is why. If Stephen feels like Nigerian police, where they were the first of, we are absolutely under-policed. We have less than 400,000 policemen in this country with a population of over 200 million people. So that is out. And out of those almost 400,000, almost 40% of them are attached to VIPs. You will see your celebrities, your footballers, your pastors, your religious leaders, political leaders, especially now the election primaries are going on. All of them are attached to VIPs. Then some are hanging around this Lagos-Ibadan expressway. But the president gave the instruction. You know how we always do it. 1 week, 2 weeks, everybody follows the instruction, but everything can be relaxed. You go to parties now, you see mobile police, heavily armed mobile police, standing beside one random unknown person. So we've lost that control. And that's because we now have a system that implements policies and commands, right? Then when you are coming from Mowe, Bafo into Lagos, you see some of your police officers hanging on the long bridge. They're looking for trucks to escort into the town. That's a different ball game. But again, I want to ask both of you. During COVID, when we could not congregate, did the church not hold? If you know that there's a peculiar situation in your community, must you congregate the people? Religion is a faith, is a practice. You cannot be denied that opportunity. But in all thy gettings, get understanding. It is very important. During COVID, that we could not house ourselves under churches, was service not going on?
Okay, it's good. It's okay to say, he shouldn't congregate the people. The people themselves, don't they have a thinking faculty?
Oh,
because
even
if they ask you to come and you look at the situation, you look at the circumstance, and it's not favorable, there are certain things you cannot do. Look, my son was asking me a question yesterday. He said, that he thinks I need to visit a place in one of the states, not too far, a neighboring state. And I said to him, I don't have a driver. I'm not going to do that because, at least I need company. That's the least I can ask for. Somebody who, in case of incasity, do you understand what I'm saying? So the thing is, if the pastor didn't have the wisdom that we expect that he should have had, the congregation, what happened to them? What happened to, how many of them were abducted? 20?
We're not even sure of the accurate
number,
but we know 3 were killed.
3 were killed.
And
how many
were 20
were abducted? Okay, so we have 15 abducted and 3 killed, so a total of almost 20. What happened to 15 people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 couldn't think. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 couldn't think. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 still couldn't think.
You always say that you can force to the stream, but so if a pastor says that, the funny thing is that
I want to back
their prayer request that night to be security.
I want to back it up.
They are praying for security that night.
With the Yoruba,
pray for the country to be safe.
With a Yoruba proverb that says, is it a proverb or whatever? It's a statement that they all slept and they faced the same position, meaning that all of them were thinking in the same direction.
We all agree that the government have failed.
Supposed to be the case
for them.
On this program, Okwe comes up with certain ideas. He comes up with certain statements to back his ideas, and I come with, from a completely different angle. Stephen will come from a completely different angle. Why? Because we all have our thinking faculties, and we're all able to process things in our own different and unique ways. So that's where I think there's a challenge, because the congregation, none of them seem to have been different. It's so unfortunate, and I join the families, in condolences, those who lost their lives, and I pray that the rest, the 15 left, would be spared. And rescued. And I also remember
with the 2-year-olds.
I also remember at this time, the Ogbomoso incident and the little children, the babies, that have we really even don't know the situation as it has right now. There have been no updates. There's been no information. All we keep hearing is is a script that has been prepared. And just it keeps being repeated, but with a little amendment. And honestly, that has just put me at a different level. I still haven't been myself. I'm still praying and hoping that the government will do something to rescue these children. It's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate and very, not just unfortunate, but it's also very, very sad, if you ask me. Okay, the Kwara attack is not an isolated incident. It comes against the backdrop of a nation still mourning the killing of Mr. Michael Oyedokun, a dedicated teacher whose death has sparked a candlelight memory movement by teachers across Nigeria. And I really want to join that movement if I have all the necessary details. His colleagues say they are not making a political statement, but a human one. The teachers' lives matter, and that those who dedicate themselves to shaping the future of Nigerian children deserve protection, not martyrdom. And it is the children who continue to pay the heaviest price across Nigeria. Interior villages across conflict-affected regions, school children remain prime targets, for kidnap and terror ripped from classrooms, from prayer grounds, from the very best spaces that should actually, truly, and really be the safest. For many families, sending a child to school or night vigil has become an act of faith in the most literal sense. Uncertain whether they will return, Nigeria must confront an uncomfortable truth that its most vulnerable, its learners and its worshippers are being abandoned to the mercy of bandits. Unfortunately, this is a situation that we found ourselves. Yes, we're still mourning the death of Mr. Michael Oyedokun, who I would like to say was beheaded by the bandits. I was watching a video of the bandits, maltreating some of the students that, they have in their possession. And for me, that was so, it was, I was almost going off, the Nigerian government should do something about it. We have cried, we have shouted, we have talked, we've done everything. We're appealing. Somebody would say that lives and property should be the main aim of the Nigerian government, but that's not where we find ourselves. Is that where you find yourself, Stephen?
Some jobs are actually motivated by sacrifice. And it's this act of terrorism, as you can see, is not motivated by patriotism. It is motivated more by indoctrination, motivated by greed. It was gory to see, elderly men, in the case of the kidnapped boys in Ogomosho. The boys were being tortured, with dripping melted plastics on their backs, blindfolded, and these elderly men had the audacity to laugh and cheer.
Yeah, they were happy. Yep.
And it's funny enough that human beings, the human nature is crazy at some level. These men were laughing, and most likely many of them have their children at home. You had the audacity to kidnap teachers, kidnap
babies,
young, innocent
babies,
and treat them like prisoners of war. That is unfair. That is inhumane, right? And more than anything, I think at this point, it is very, very important for government to be more proactive. I saw some time ago, about a week or thereabouts, the Oyo State government launched a policy. Let's see how that will, a security policy. Let's see how that plays out. But more than anything, it's imperative on government to start treating these cases not just as cases, not just as let's solve this one to get the trust or the cheer of applause of people, but to really understand that these are families that are crying. These are, like this is a whole community. Imagine the whole country. It's happening here, it's happening there. I'm not related to these people, but I feel their pain, and the whole country, all of these things happening. There is no much from the governors. There is no, visits to those. It's gory. It's gory. For months straight, we are mourning, and everybody is still trying to manage their lives, face the economy, provide for their family. It's not the best times in Nigeria currently.
Okay, you can still be part of the discussion by calling us on 0707 3800959. The numbers will be displayed on the screen. Okay. Are you disappointed in Governor Seyi Makinde? I know he's your friend. He's someone you love so much.
Yeah, because I have been in Oyo State around in the past years that he's been governor, and I'll tell you for a fact that you can feel the impact of governance in terms of public infrastructures, in terms of even creation of employment and payment of salaries, and then some of the social welfares in terms of development within the education. So I think relatively Oyo State has been on a steady growth under Governor Seyi Makinde. But I always say this, that no matter how beautiful your policies or infrastructures are, if you failed in that your primary responsibility, when the Constitution says that the responsibility of the government is to protect, to see to the welfare, safety and welfare, it is not just the federal government or local government. State governors are also involved. So Governor Seyi Makinde is someone that I kind of respect, but I think he's doing well. But a chunk of that respect was taken away from me last week Sunday when he did his media parley, and he was talking about the fact that last year the state spent 7.7 billion naira to purchase two.
Sorry, we have a caller. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Express show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Friday. I'm calling from Alakpere.
Alakpere, Friday. You're welcome. You want to make your contribution?
Yes, I just want to say one or two things to what is on ground. I think the major problem we are having is our government are not telling us the truth. They are hiding the truth from us because they don't want us to know what is actually happening there. If not again, okay, the way I'm making this call now, if I make any derogatory statement or say anything out of context that will maybe talk on bad down on any government or anything, they will trace me. They know my contact. With this call I'm making now, they can trace where I am and everything. How will you not tell me that a bandit or those kidnappers will make a PPU, circulate a PPU? They'll make a call from there, and the government will still tell us that they don't know where they are. They'll tell us that they don't know how to trace them to fish them out. I think there's something bigger than what we are seeing in the ordinary. The only thing we can do for ourselves is to help ourselves. Just like you said, if the pastor cannot think to tell the members that there's insecurity in the land, then the members themselves should be able to tell themselves what is there and know how to organize themselves in terms of public gathering and all of that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a brilliant comment and submission.
So what I was saying is that if you use taxpayers' money to purchase something, it is for the safety of those people. So if you spend 7.7 billion to purchase 2 surveillance helicopters, and then those helicopters arrived in Nigeria in July 2025, and then till now, May 2026, those helicopters have not been assembled.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Welcome to the Breakfast Express show.
My name is Wally Thompson, calling from K2.
Okay, K2. All right, go ahead and make your contribution.
Yeah, because a very important topic there. But I just want to chip in something that is very important in all this. You know, like Yoruba adage says, every you know, we have something that's more important. For instance, let me just translate that in a very simple way. No, it is leprosy. So, and you have scabies as well. If you leave leprosy and concentrate on scabies, or it might be just mere wasting of time. You know, this thing happened long time ago that we are battling today. There was a time people cry out that the way these people search, migrate to this area, and without any control. You know, they flourish in all those forests. Their habit is to go to a place, settle in a place, and dominate the place to the extent that you will not be able to control them any longer. But what are they saying that time? They said the law says you can live everywhere you like. Nobody is disputing that. But there should be a control. In olden days, I remember where they have their own Seriki, they have this, they have the Sabo, they call it Sabo that time. If anybody is coming in, it will go through the head of that place. They will register him, they will know him, they will know what he's going to do at that moment. So that is how security were being controlled that time. But this technology, this unnecessary analytical, all this thing has caused a lot of problem in Nigeria. And you know, this politician, you know, they make use of all this, most of all this people. Look at Boko Haram. Before it become what they become today, they started as a talk. They started as a talk. Some people cry out that time that the way they train these people with arms,
it's dangerous.
Nobody is doing anything. They say they are opposition. This and that, they are opposition. And they just want to use that one to make us look election. And today, when those people want the election, they retire from politics. These people, they have nothing to do again. They've already have. What are they going to do? They are going to use their hand to get whatever they desire. So that is the problem we have today. Until our country realize the truth and know most of this problem we are facing is political. And these people they make use of, they cannot take them any longer. They've already wiped. So we will continue to see what there's nothing government can do. The government the people they cannot embark on kinetic energy to go and face this. They've used the children to be a cover. So if you want to embark on any kinetic approach, you will just kill all those children. They know what they are doing. They've already opened up, according to story, they've opened up a discussion with the state government to get their ransom. They will leave that place. They have a lot of bases in the forest. They will leave that place and go to another place. So God help us.
Well, you just concluded on a nice note. May God help us. Thank you so much for this call. Very brilliant submission. Tope, I would like to comment on what they said, but I want you to finish what you were talking about quickly.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if the governor can come out and say the surveillance helicopter they took delivery of since July last year is still not ready. He said that 3 days prior to that Sunday interview that the manufacturer just sent in their engineers to come and assemble the surveillance helicopter. And I'm wondering, if it took you 1 year to assemble an helicopter, how long did it take them to build that helicopter? And then the governor was saying that, oh, they were actually proactive, but they didn't expect that this was going to. I'm going to ask you, except in daring situation, would bandits come and tell you as a governor that, oh, we are coming to attack people in your state? So in fact, the governor was even saying that I would sponsor journalists to Lagos at the Air Force Base to come and see where the helicopters are at the hang. And I'm like, nobody cares about where those things are. The idea of you spending 7.7 billion to buy those
use them,
was to keep the people safe. In fact, I saw a report of one House of Representatives member in 2024 was already raising alarm that this wildlife, game reserve in Oyo is no longer safe. That there are bandits, there are unknown, there are strange faces already occupying those, and that is one of the. It's so big that it shares border with all the southwestern states, including Benin Republic. So if the governor took delivery of a surveillance aircraft and decided to keep it in Lagos for 1 year, then you're now coming to tell the journalists and the press that we did not know that. How do you think So are you supposed to know that the bandits are coming to abduct and attack your people?
And just like the last caller rightly said, that these people are now human shields.
Yes.
You understand? And going straight to what the first caller said, now that they're negotiating with the bandits, my question is how? How are they negotiating with the bandits? The first caller said that there's something they're not telling us. They're just trying to deceive not us, themselves. No, let me land up there. They're trying to deceive themselves because, look, even with a phone call from the headmistress, even with if they want
things
to,
can be traced,
of course it can be traced. So yes, these people have made very valid contributions and things that we already know, and things that a lot of people know, but the government, just decides not to talk about it, and I often say that some of our leaders think that we don't know these things, or perhaps they know that we know, but they don't care whether we know. What can we do anyway? What can we do?
When it comes to governance, the public should not over-expect. The public should not expect.
What is over-expect?
But let him learn.
Let's hear this. There are many times that government will not come out to say everything about a particular thing, but government have the responsibility to share information. I'm going somewhere. Now, more than just because, for instance, if imagine the government coming out today, tomorrow, next tomorrow to say, oh, we are working on it, or we don't even know what we can do. That's like communicating everything, right?
No, they already said that for information. In case you don't know, they said that last week.
Oh, wow.
They said, yeah, just to let you know, they said that we should start to protect ourselves. Okay, go ahead.
So I just feel like, we shouldn't over-expect, but more than anything, I still feel like governments are throwing people in the dark, and that gives room for misinformation. We will tell ourselves things, exaggerate some things, understate some things, and, everywhere will be in disarray if that continues for a long time. That's my thought.
Okay, you wanted to interject here.
No, I'm just trying to understand when Stephen says Nigeria
Over-expect.
should not over-expect. See, the best person that can give you security is the government, and that's a fact.
That's a fact.
If you like have private security, if you like have this, you know that before you can get license to a gun, it has to be from the executive list, which is the president authorizing that. And there are 5 steps you have to follow. They check your criminal record, they check your mental strength, they check if you are 18 plus, they check your eyesight to know the range of guns you can have access to. And those are on the exclusive list of the president. So you cannot even say you want to protect yourself and because you are 18 you want to go and buy a gun. You can only buy pump action. And when we pump action is when boys are coming with AK-47 and are tearing place. So
Rapid
if you
fire.
say the government, the people should not over-expect. It's basically we saying that we've admitted.
No limits.
Welcome to the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Award.
This isn't a reset.
It's an evolution.
Arsenal at the top of the Premier League table.
We're going to build our paradise here on earth.
Looks up and he makes contact with his old rival.
Moments turn into memories. History into legacy.
Anything can happen.
necessary break, but yeah, we're still on the Breakfast Express show. Offer you a...
Let's just wrap it up. I'm just saying that as a citizen, as a law-abiding citizen, as a tax-paying citizen, as a citizen that is very patriotic about the growth of this country, I don't think there's anything I ask for the government that means I'm over-expecting. As long as it's within the demand or it's within my right as a Nigerian, whether rights that are challengeable or not challengeable, my right to freedom, to education, to to security, to life itself. Thank you very much, which is the most important of all your rights, are the rights to life. So if government has to do the responsibility of assigning a police officer to protect only me, I have the right to, and that's a fact. So if the government failed in that responsibility, just like Tom was saying, nobody is more Nigerian than the other. Tinubu is not more Nigerian than me. There's nothing like the office of the first son. It's not recognized. There's nothing like the office of the first lady. It's not recognized in the Constitution. The only part the Constitution recognizes is the president and the vice president. Anything else is a product of a failed system. When Obama was president, how many times do you see his children being policed everywhere? They attend the normal school the other people are going to. How many? But when it comes to Nigeria, in fact, son of a councillor is already living like a king. The wife of a councillor is driving around with customized plate number. Office of the wife of a councillor. Who is a councillor? A councillor is like a gatesman in Nigerian political space. Who are you? That you are driving customized plate number. And gatesman, you are having oddly. A councillor is having oddly. Who are you?
Okay, let's not deviate too much. Stephen, the point is, these congregations, whether in churches or in school, has become a problem.
Very true. Dear Nigerians, are we as Nigerians becoming too comfortable gathering in open spaces, unprotected with any security consciousness, even in areas where banditry is a known threat? As familiarity with danger bred carelessness. A prayer ground on the outskirts village at night with the congregation gathered. Was there no vigilante presence? No local security? No early warning system at all? These are questions that we should ask ourselves. Though we've touched base on some of these things, but let's be proactive and not just say we're waiting on government.
Well, I actually like what you just said, Stephen, talking about the vigilante, and the local hunters and stuff. At this kind of time, I think, government should empower them, recognize them, register them, empower them to join force with, whatever security outfits, from the government. You understand? I think that right now, because they say that the rat outside cannot just come to the house if the rat inside
has not given
yes, you understand? So there is some sort of information somewhere from people within. That's why it's also good to, include, in this security team, the local security men. If we overlook them and we think we are coming to secure, they can be the same people. And I'm not saying they do it. I'm not saying they've done it. And I'm not saying they will do it. But they may and they can. They have the ability to do it. So we need to watch out and bring them in. You see, when they feel that they belong, they will want to prove a point. Yes, we may not be recognized by government. We may not be wearing your kind of uniform. But they will want to show that they are effectively working, So I think it's very important. I really like that point that you raised.
The State government under Sheyi Makinde implemented. They called it the Executive Order on the Regulation of Association Groups and Organizations Offering Security and Allied Services in Oyo State. And more than anything, it just provides that legal and operational framework that supports peace, order, and rule of law. And I think this is not just something to leave alone and pilot in Oyo State. Let other states also start adopting these things. Let's harmonize the, what do they call them? The OPC, They
are Motekons.
Yes, they are Motekons. Everybody, let's, bring hands together and see what we can do about these things. It can be as simple as just blowing whistle when you see something strange or something out of order.
And I think that even we as Nigerians, in our various neighborhoods, I think we should purchase whistles, have our CDAs, get whistles and share for people, so that, if there's any problem or any trouble, you just blow the whistle. The whistle blowing should be the order of the day, in Nigeria by now.
Well, I don't know how far your whistle can go. And there's one thing to blow whistles, there's another thing to get response to the whistle you are blowing. If you can't blow whistle from now to tomorrow, if there's no police nearby, if the police vehicle or patrol vehicle don't have fuel in them, if the police station are relying on generator to power their police station, if they are closing at 6 o'clock, if the DPO is not even staying within the community of where it's policing, if you like blow trumpet, they will think it's rapture. Nobody will hear you. And that's a fact.
But I really don't want to agree with you on this. It depends on where you live. Okay, you are talking like you're coming from Ikoyi or something. You're not coming from Ikoyi. You live in Ogun State. You live in the same area that I live. In our area, it is the OPC that take charge. And when they take charge, they take full charge. I'm not here to blow anybody's trumpets. I'm just telling you exactly what I have been through. If you blow a whistle at night in my area, whoever has come to trouble you is in trouble. I tell you something, there was a day during broad daylight, I had to call my brother to send his son to my house to do something for me. His son went to my house to take care of my dogs. His son went to my house, fed the dogs and everything. I wanted to go and buy something. He now padlocked the gate and left the key inside. Wow. So when he came back, he was scared. He didn't know what to do. You know what he did? The option he took was to jump my fence. This was broad daylight. They almost lynched him. They would have burnt him alive. It was someone that said, stop for a moment. Let me call this woman. I have her number. And he called me. My nephew would have been long dead. I'm not kidding you. And that's how effective they are in my area. I don't know about Okwe lives in the same area, but at my own side, they're really, you can't mess around. If you're walking on your feet at 12 midnight, you need to explain why you're out, except you're driving a car.
I think that's where training comes in, even in local communities. Let's, imagine a case where everybody has a whistle, you have it, I blow, you don't have to come out, blow, and, help comes, at least.
I understand where he's coming from. But I totally understand where she's coming from. But what I'm saying is this. There's one thing to blow whistle. There's a limit to what OPC can do when you are dealing with daredevil criminals, when you are dealing with people that are hell-bent on making sure that you are unalived, when you are dealing with people that are coming with AK-47, OPC is coming with Dane guns. OPC is not legalized to carry gun. You cannot carry weapon. What do you have? Is it arrow or bow you want to use, or you want to use bantetu? Okay. We have a fundamental security problem in this country.
And I hear you, and I agree with you that we have a fundamental, and it is big. I hear you.
Killed every
but
day.
I also want to
members
say,
are getting killed.
I also want to say that it is not as if these people they are not functioning, because even I'm sure you must have seen what that was going on, that was going around on social media about this Hausa guy that came to an area and had a gun on him. But he was, the LPC people put him under order. So yes, they're being killed. OPC are being killed. I'm saying even in the little that they're doing, if they are brought into the bigger picture, they will do. They will do a whole lot.
I think we should just tell the government to fast track the issue of state police.
As long as you have been telling them how much progress have you made, the little that but in that time, the OPC have been doing what they've been doing, and they've been succeeding. So, I think that's a good thing. Well, on that note, we have to round up today's edition of the Breakfast Express Show. We don't have time, and our directors have been saying round up. They never give us enough time. They're always on our next. Okay, Okpayemi.
Well, I thank you very much for being a part of the conversation today, but please be very security conscious. When you see something, you say something. Have a beautiful Monday. My name is Okpayemi Akande. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow.
Please do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. It's at MITV Plus on Facebook, MITV_NG on Instagram, TikTok, and X. You can also watch our programs live on YouTube at mitv_ng. Please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you for watching. I'm Stephen Odoli.
Okay, my name is Tom Aderile. I always say, you go stand in front of the mirror, look at yourself inside and outside. Is there anything you need to change? If there is, please change it ASAP. Thank you for watching the show. We'll be here again tomorrow, doing the same thing. We expect you to join us. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful